Hello YouTube, it's me, Video Gamer, and this is the How to Draw Video Game Characters tutorial, and today I will be drawing Silver and Sonic the Hedgehog from the Sonic the Hedgehog game on Xbox. Supplies you're going to need for this tutorial is sketchbook or copy paper, pencil with an eraser, mechanical pencil, permanent markers, and colored pencils. So, without further ado, let the drawing begin. It was a little early that time. I can't ever get this right anymore. Alright, so first thing you should probably know is that this was a request from a contest winner, the second place contest winner, and they did pretty good on their drawing, so they requested Silver and Sonic at Soliana City, which is a scene that took place in the Xbox version of Sonic the Hedgehog. So, to start this off, I've just decided to do a sketch line of both the characters, and I'm going to work on Silver first from there. Drawing his eye area, and then for his eyes, they're just ovals inside. The Sonic characters always have that characteristic, sort of angry, goggle type looking eyes, I guess. I don't know, I don't have any other words to explain them. But more than being angry, Silver is determined to fix the future. I guess he is angry. Silver has one of the most unique haircuts, I guess, of the Sonic characters. Just like 5 spikes coming right off from the front of his head. They're sort of wavy because he's using his telekinetic powers and whatnot. If you've never drawn Silver before, it'd be a good idea to get a picture of him from Google as your source picture. Helps a lot. Trust me. Don't you just love water? Water makes the world go round. Okay, enough about water. Drawing his ears, just in between the spikes. The last and next to last spikes, I guess. Might take a little bit of adjusting to get them right, but that's okay. Because that's why you draw light in the first place. As in sketching. As you can see, it took me a while to get the spikes looking right. And then behind his head, he has another sort of back spike, I guess. He has 2 of those. And that's sort of like the bulk of his hair, I guess. He's got the other one on the other side of his head. And around his eyes, he has these spots. Well, I guess they're not really spots. There's like an outline on his eye. I don't know. It's like an accent colors to his eyes, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why they do that, but it looks cool. So just add that in. Fix a little bit of the spikes on his hair. Notice that even though I'm starting to draw a bit darker, because I'm more confident in the shape, you still got to draw sort of light. And then the fur on Silver's chest, sort of like shadows, except he has a bunch more of it, and it goes behind his back on his arms. And then we're going to start working on the rest of his body. Just some pretty simple sketch lines. Work on his legs. And like, over the past couple years, it seems as though the Sonic characters have been getting taller and taller. I guess it's because they're getting older or whatnot. But they're gaining a more humanistic type structure. So the legs are going to be longer than the arms are. Drawing his hands. And I decided to make it look like he is holding up that box over there with his telekinetic powers, so he's just sort of waving his hands around in crazy random directions, just like the game. And for his boots, he has these really cool looking rings, I guess. He's got these rings on his arms too, and just sort of futuristic to his future characteristics, I guess. I don't know. Boots have quite, well, I guess that's not too much detail as much as real boots, but they're still pretty detailed. They look pretty cool. So, make sure you know what those look like before you even attempt to draw those. If you don't know what they look like, you can see me drawing them. I drew them as accurate as I possibly could have, but nevertheless, draw it. Or maybe you don't like how Silver's shoes look. Draw him some rollerblades or a floating airboard. I don't know who came up with that idea. Drawing his fingers on his hand, like such. And for some reason, I think that their hands are disproportionately sized to their arms, so the hands and feet are a lot bigger than everything else. Which is sort of good, because that's usually how I draw the characters, with hands and feet bigger than they should be. But since that's how it works out, it's all good. Drawing his lower hand. And despite being that I can draw them larger, hands are still a very difficult thing to draw. It takes a lot of practice to get it right. But if you are really willing to learn how to draw, you will put in that practice and you will get better. So, don't give up. Drawing his big, huge ring on his hand. Sort of has a split in it, like that's how he puts it on, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure how it works, but that's what it's got, so. Like, it's not one continuous metal ring clasped around his arm. Sort of adding in a bit more sketch for Sonic. And then, the rings themselves don't have too much detail, they just have this line going across them. It's sort of bent in some places, but just wrap it around the ring, like such. That's just sort of Silver's detail in the first place, I guess, just to make him look more futuristic, I guess. I don't know what word to use to describe that. He's a futuristic type guy. So now what we're going to do is outline the entirety of our drawing. This cleans it up a whole lot. Just be careful whenever you're doing this, because of course you can't erase. Whenever you're doing this, don't outline too slow, because then your lines sort of get all wiggly. And don't outline too fast, because you have a higher chance of messing up. So outline at a steady pace. Once you're done outlining, use an eraser to erase all the pencil. Clean it up a whole lot. Now we're gonna start coloring Silver. Gee, I wonder what color Silver is. You know what color he is. Color him. But the way I usually color characters is that I start out with a light shade of whatever color it may be. In this instance, it's a grayish silver color. And that sort of applies to all of it. Just lay down a base coat color, whatever color it may be, yellow for the rings, whatever. Just lay down a base coat color and I'll show you what to do after that. The more colored pencils you have at your disposal, the easier this will be for you, but if you don't have a wide variety of colored pencils to pick from, in order to do this, you just want to color lightly with whatever colors you have available to you that best match your character. But if you really do like drawing with colored pencils and you just like making unique and interesting drawings, get a relatively large set of colored pencils and that'll just open up many more possibilities for you. Skin color. And a little bit of yellow to it. And now we're going to start the shading process. The way you shade on a drawing is you sort of make it seem like they're three-dimensional. And the way you can do this is by choosing where you want your light source to be. My light source is top right this time around. That means all the darker colors are going to be to the bottom left. So just take a darker color, or that same color you used, and color darker. Imagine that. To the opposite direction of whatever your light source is. This just gives it a whole lot of depth. You won't believe how much depth it gives it. I guess you can see it, but maybe you're sick of my voice, so I'm just gonna let you watch it, sort of offer advice every few minutes. Yeah, just watch it. I'm useless. I'm sorry. And he's got these blue circles on his hands, in case you didn't notice. I guess that's sort of where he generates his power. Add a little bit of shading to the rings, just for the sake of giving them a little bit more interest. I added a darker golden brown to the edge of the rings on the shadowing, sort of make them look metallic. Added a little bit of that same color to his eyes. And the tip of his boots are a nice contrasting blue-green color. Sort of hard to mix with just a regular set of colored pencils, but I'm pretty sure it's possible, sort of. And then color his boots black, or just sort of add in a little bit of black. And if you want, you can use your eraser and sort of take out some of that black and make the boots seem sort of shiny, like they are in the actuality of his character. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it seem like there's power emanating from all of Silver's body, as in controlling the box over to his right. And the way you can do this is just take a sort of a nearly bluish green color. It's more like sea blue, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure what color it was. But just take that lightish blue color and sort of stroke out all along Silver's body. You don't want it to be too uniform, because it's just it should be rather sketchy and just looks random a little bit, just sort of flowing from his body. And if you were like me and actually played the Sonic the Hedgehog game for Xbox 360, you know just how annoying Silver was to beat the first time around. Let's just say I don't really play that game anymore, just because of that level. Now we're going to draw Sonic. As you can tell, I've just flipped around the paper, because the way Sonic is positioned in this drawing is that he is doing a sort of cartwheel handspring type thing to dodge one of the things Silver's throwing at him. So I gave Sonic his classic cocky, funny attitude, like, you don't scare me at all, I just think you're funny looking sort of attitude. You basically draw him the same way as Silver, only difference being that he's a whole lot simpler to draw. Because he was first, I guess, and they didn't want to make it too complicated. Just Sonic's classic 3-spike hairstyle, with his ears coming right off the side. I've been drawing Sonic for quite a long time, so I've gotten pretty good at drawing his hairstyle. But if you are sort of unfamiliar with the character of Sonic, then you might want to have a source drawing. Over the past couple of years, as well as making the characters taller, they have also made their ears quite larger. Sonic Colors, I was just like, man, those ears are huge. So, maybe you prefer old school Sonic, but I sort of like how he's turning out lately. Draw his hand coming around like that. Add in his glove and the start of his hand. And you don't realize it right now, but I often, like, throughout this entire process of drawing Sonic, I have flipped the page several different directions just to get this to draw right. You can't do something like this at just one angle. Turn your paper however you want. For the sake of your guys' viewing, I flipped it around whenever I did that, so that way you guys could see it at the same position the entire time, so you weren't too confused. But we're going to move on down to the legs now. Drawing a shoe right off to the side. Shoes are pretty big, as always. Drawing his classic white stripe and buckle. I'm so glad they haven't gotten rid of that design yet. I mean, they've changed it a bit for the Sonic Riders stuff, but nobody cares about Sonic Riders anyway, so it's all good. Drawing his sock, protruding from the shoe, of course. And the skin on his chest, I guess, is no longer just a simple circle. It's more like a sort of outline of a chest, I guess, as it is. Since Sonic's moving in such a way that he's almost spinning, or going into a spin dash, what I decided to do was make his hair sort of curling around his body in the direction that he was moving. You learn a lot about the movement of characters just by looking at everyday situations and stuff, and just practicing drawing. But it does take a lot of practice. I've had about 10 years of practice, so I'm still drawing. So don't be alarmed. Fix his hand a bit more, just like such. Now we're going to outline Sonic with our Sharpie. Once again, be careful. Outline at a steady pace. I just sped it up for the sake of it, because nobody likes to sit around and watch a kid outline for 20 minutes. Now we're going to color Sonic. Right? Start coloring Sonic. Do it! Okay, never mind. We're going to erase the pencil sketch underneath, clean it up a lot, get rid of all our sketch lines. I found that this is the most effective way for drawing video game characters. It looks so much better than just doing a sloppy sketch in like under 30 minutes. It does take a whole lot longer. This drawing probably took me like 2 hours, but I think it was worth it for the quality of it. Coloring Sonic. Basically going to use the same technique that we use for Silver, doing the base coat colors at first, the light blue for skin. Of course, this is the completely wrong color, but just to use this as highlight as what I put down. So don't freak out. It's like, oh, you colored Sonic wrong, because I didn't. I colored him right. Thank you very much. I colored him nearly right. That's what I consider to be right, so if you don't like it, draw him yourself. Send me a video response. See how it turns out. And the coolest accent, I think, on Sonic is his green eyes. It just contrasts everything on his body. Just really completes it. We're going to add a little bit of shading now, just in the same way that we did for Silver. And since it's upside down, you got a little bit of, it's tricky to realize where the lighting's at, but really the lighting's now at the bottom left because it's upside down. And the shadows are going to be top right. Just everything's flip-flopped. So shade them just like you did Silver, just to add that depth, sense of depth. And even though Silver is more detailed, I think the coloring on Sonic is a little bit more involved, because you have a whole lot more colors to deal with for the highlights and the shadows and stuff than just a simple gray. Coloring just blue with this. Since I started out so light, I have to take another blue and just sort of color everywhere, pretty much, just to give it the more accurate color. And I'm still not done yet. See, I'm going to take another blue here in a second, and I'm just going to add another contrasting, or another layer of shadow, I guess, so to speak. This just adds a whole lot more dimension than I would have had otherwise. And I know my voice might probably sound boring at some times, but with these techniques for shading and stuff, you can use them on just anything at all. So it's a good idea to practice shading often, and if you like drawing, you can use this technique for just about anything. It just adds tons of depth to your drawing. Makes it so cool. shade on his shoes a bit. This isn't as detailed as the hair, of course. Just throw in a darker red, and that's about all you have to do. I just did a lot more detail for the fur because Sonic's hair is just, it's got so much detail in it that I can't really get with colored pencil, so I just sort of tried to make it look a little bit textured. And then, proving that Sonic is a blue blur, I just decided to take the darkest blue I had and just stroke off to the side in the direction that Sonic is moving, or the opposite direction. This just makes it look like he's moving really fast. And it's always fun to capture motion in your drawing, because it adds that much more to it. It's like you can see the action in it, sort of. And now we're going to do some background kind of stuff. You don't have to do exactly what I do. This was just to make it more interesting. And they also requested that it be at Soliana City. So if you haven't played the game, you definitely don't know what that's at. But I'm pretty sure Silver's appeared in other games and whatnot. So, just going to go over the object I just drew right now. It's a box with a star on it. These appear a lot in the game. And it is found that you can use Silver to pick these up and manipulate them to destroy stuff, I guess. Throw them at things. Robots. Its colors are pretty basic. I'm pretty sure you could look it up. Just get it down. Blues, yellows. Sort of the same color scheme as Silver himself. And then around the box I decided to add more of that blue power emanating effect. And then flying past Sonic, the reason why he had to dodge in the first place, is a picnic table that Silver so generously picked up and hurled at him with his telekinetic powers. So outline that, and whenever you're drawing something as geometric as a table, you really want to make sure your lines are straight. It just helps out a whole lot. And it just makes it look a whole lot more thicker. No, that's not the word. Dense. No, solid. Solid. That'll work. Makes it look more solid. And since these are... I just decided to outline everything with Sharpie for this one. It just helped a lot. And it took more time, of course, but I just think it was worth it. I'm pretty sure you guys know what color a picnic table is, so I shouldn't have to go over that very much. But something interesting, if you take different shades of brown and just sort of stroke across it and sort of make a wood grain pattern, it just makes it look like wood all the more. Really cool. Now came the most time-consuming part of my drawing, the reason why this video goes on for 26 minutes instead of 20. Cobblestone. Why, Soliana? Why? Cobblestone has to be one of the most... I don't even know why anybody would want to make a sidewalk out of cobblestone anymore. That's just ridiculous. But... pretty sure you know what cobblestone looks like. If you don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on your drawing, don't draw cobblestone. Anyway, they're just pretty much rows of blocks going across the entirety of this thing. They're pretty organized, and I don't even want to talk about it. This is so annoying. I hate cobblestone now. I hate it. And we're going to add some nice looking houses in the background, just in sort of the style of the city itself. Outline those. Once again, since this is a sort of solid thing, you want to make sure that you outline it with straight lines and just keep everything really geometric looking. Color in the house sort of a yellowish peach, and this house sort of a red. Added a few brick designs to it to make it more interesting. And that pretty much wraps up my drawing of Sonic and Silver battling at Soliana. I did a few more stuff to the cobblestone just to sort of make it seem like it had a little bit of dimension to it, which took even longer than I wanted to. And then beneath Sonic and Silver, I also added a shadow just by taking a darker gray and coloring around them. As you can see, that sort of gave the appearance of a sun and helped them stay grounded on it. Sky is blue, and that's my finished drawing of Silver and Sonic battling at Soliana City. Thank you for this request contest winner. I had fun drawing cobblestone. Not really. But aside from that, thank you for entering the contest and winning. If you like this video, you should subscribe, because I make tons of these tutorials and I upload them, like, I'm trying to do it so that I upload one tutorial a week. Another thing you should know is that I also take requests, of course. That was a contest request. But if you just want to send me a regular old request, you can send me a message at my channel with a picture link and any other details you'd like me to include into your drawing. So, check out some of my other videos. Go to DeviantArt to just see the pictures by themselves. Until next time, keep on drawing.